Associated Press published, 1609 BST, the 15th of September 2020, updated, 3:34 BST, the 16th of September 2020. Washington, AP, Israel on Tuesday signed historic diplomatic pacts with two Gulf Arab states at a White House ceremony that President Donald Trump declared will mark the dawn of a new Middle East, casting himself as an international peacemaker at the height of his re-election campaign. The bilateral agreements formalize the normalization of Israel's already thawing relations with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain in line with their common opposition to Iran. But the agreements do not address the decades-long conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, who view the pacts as a stab in the back from their fellow Arabs and a betrayal of their cause for a Palestinian state. Hundreds of people massed on the sun-washed South Lawn to witness the signing of agreements in a festive atmosphere little marked by the coronavirus pandemic. Attendees did not practice social distancing and most guests didn't wear masks. "We're here this afternoon to change the course of history," Trump said from a balcony overlooking the South Lawn. After decades of division and conflict, we mark the dawn of a new Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the day is a pivot of history. It heralds a new dawn of peace. Neither Netanyahu nor Trump mentioned the Palestinians in their remarks, but both the UAE and Bahraini foreign ministers spoke of the importance of creating a Palestinian state. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, left, President Donald Trump, Bahrain Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa and United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan react on the Blue Room balcony after signing the Abraham Accords during a ceremony on the South Lawn of the White House, Tuesday, September 15, 2020, in Washington. AP photo/Alex Brandon, Emirati Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the brother of Abu Dhabi's powerful crown prince, even thanked Netanyahu for halting the annexation of West Bank land claimed by the Palestinians in exchange for Emirati recognition. Netanyahu, however, has insisted that Israel has only suspended its plans to annex West Bank settlements. Today, we are already witnessing a change in the heart of the Middle East, a change that will send hope around the world, Al Nahyan said. Bahraini Foreign Minister Abdulatif Al-Zayani said Bahrain would stand with the Palestinians. "Today is a truly historic occasion," he said. "A moment for hope and opportunity." But in the Gaza Strip, Palestinian militants fired two rockets into Israel, apparently meant to coincide with the ceremony. The Israeli military said the rockets were fired from Gaza and one was intercepted by air defenses. Earlier in the day, Palestinian activists held small demonstrations in the West Bank and in Gaza, where they trampled and set fire to pictures of Trump, Netanyahu and the leaders of the UAE and Bahrain. Israel and the US hope the agreements can usher in a major shift in the region should other Arab nations, particularly Saudi Arabia, follow suit. That could have implications for Iran, Syria, and Lebanon. Until now, Israel has had peace deals only with Egypt and Jordan. Other Arab countries believed to be close to recognizing Israel include Oman, Sudan, and Morocco. "We are very down the road with about 5 different countries," Trump told reporters before the ceremony. Many longtime Mideast analysts and former officials, among others, have expressed doubts about the impact of the signings. In addition to the bilateral agreements signed by Israel, the UAE and Bahrain, all three signed a document dubbed the Abraham Accords after the patriarch of the world's 3 major monotheistic religions. The Abraham Accords and the bilateral agreement signed by Israel and Bahrain fell short of more detailed formal treaties that are the diplomatic norm. Both documents were made up of general statements pledging to advance diplomacy, mutual cooperation and regional peace. The most detailed of the agreements was the one between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. The nations agreed to approve bilateral agreements on 15 areas of mutual interest, including finance, trade, aviation, energy, telecommunications, health, agriculture and water. During the signing ceremony, the leaders were seated at a long table where President Harry S. Truman once held weekly luncheon meetings with his cabinet. Discussions about the Truman Doctrine to restrain Soviet expansion during the Cold War and the Marshall Plan to send billions in economic aid to Western Europe after World War II were held at the table. The stagecraft, including live music and flags, was meant to evoke previous Middle East agreements. Trump's political backers are looking to boost his standing as a statesman with just 7 weeks to go before Election Day. Until now, foreign policy has not had a major role in a campaign dominated by the coronavirus, racial issues and the economy. Besides Republicans, a few House Democrats attended the event, a notable development at a time when their leader, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, is barely on speaking terms with the president. Many Democrats, including presidential nominee Joe Biden, support the deal. It is good to see others in the Middle East recognizing Israel and even welcoming it as a partner, Biden said in a statement released Wednesday night. A Biden-Harris administration will build on these steps, challenge other nations to keep pace, and work to leverage these growing ties into progress toward a two-state solution and a more stable, peaceful region. Rep. Elaine Laurier, Democrat Virginia, said she accepted the White House invitation immediately on receiving it over the weekend. It definitely was a monumental event, and the ceremony was very fitting for that, Laurier, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, said in a telephone interview afterward. Like Laurier, some other Democrats in attendance, such as Representative Anthony Brindisi of New York, are freshmen in tough re-election races. Still others, such as Florida Reps. Ted Deutsch and Stephanie Murphy, hail from districts with large numbers of Jewish constituents. Questions remain, however, about the significance of the agreements. Even in Israel, where the accords have received widespread acclaim, there is concern they might result in U.S. sales of sophisticated weaponry to the UAE and Bahrain, thus potentially upsetting Israel's qualitative military edge in the region. Trump said he is okay with selling military aircraft to the UAE. Pelosi also welcomed the agreements but said she wants to learn details, specifically what the Trump administration has told the UAE about buying American-made F-35 aircraft and about Israel agreeing to freeze efforts to annex portions of the West Bank. UAE and Bahrain have a history of suppressing dissent and critical public opinion, but there have been indications that the agreements are not nearly as popular or well received as they are in Israel. Neither country sent its head of state or government to sign the deals with Netanyahu. Bahrain's largest Shiite-dominated opposition group, Al-Wefaq, which the government ordered dissolved in 2016 amid a years-long crackdown on dissent, said there is widespread rejection of normalization. The ceremony followed months of intricate diplomacy headed by Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor, and the president's envoy for international negotiations, Avi Berkovitz. On August 13, the Israel-UAE deal was announced. That was followed by the first direct commercial flight between the countries, and then the September 11 announcement of the Bahrain-Israel agreement. Associated Press writers Aya Batroui in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Laurie Kelman in Washington, and Joseph Krauss in Jerusalem contributed to this report. President Donald Trump, center, with from left, Bahrain Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump, and United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during the Abraham Accords signing ceremony on the South Lawn of the White House, Tuesday, September 15, 2020, in Washington. AP photo/Alex Brandon. Representations of the US, Israeli, Emirati and Bahraini flags are projected onto a wall of Jerusalem's Old City, marking the day of a signing ceremony in Washington signifying the two Gulf nations' normalization of relations with Israel, Tuesday, Sept. 15, 2020. AP photo/Maya Alayutso. Israeli police inspect the damage at the site hit by a rocket fired by Palestinian militants from the Gaza Strip in the southern city of Ashdod, Israel, Tuesday, Sept. 15, 2020. The Israeli military says 2 rockets were fired from Gaza and 1 was intercepted by air defenses. Magen David Adom, the Israeli Emergency Service, says it treated 2 people for minor injuries from broken glass. AP photo/Zafar Bayov. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan Abraham and Bahrain Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa stand on the Blue Room balcony during the Abraham Accords signing ceremony on the south lawn of the White House, Tuesday, September 15, 2020, in Washington. AP photo/Alex Brandon. President Donald Trump meets with the United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan in the Oval Office, Tuesday, September 15, 2020, at the White House in Washington. AP photo/Alex Brandon. Palestinians burn pictures of U.S. President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Bahrain's King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during a protest against the United Arab Emirates and Bahraini normalization agreement with Israel, in Gaza City, Tuesday, Sept. 15, 2020. Israel is set to sign agreements with the UAE and Bahrain at the White House on Tuesday. Arabic on poster with representation of an Israeli flag reads, "Traitor." AP photo/Khalil Hamra, a woman wearing a face mask against the coronavirus pandemic walks past American, United Arab Emirates, Israel and Bahraini flags at the Peace Bridge in Netanya, Israel, Monday, Sept. 14, 2020. For the first time in more than a quarter century, a U.S. president will host the signing ceremony between Israelis and Arabs at the White House, billing it as an historic breakthrough in a region long known for its stubborn conflicts. AP photo/Ariel Shalit. President Donald Trump walks to the Abraham Accords signing ceremony at the White House, Tuesday, September 15, 2020, in Washington with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Bahrain Foreign Minister Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa and United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. AP photo/Alex Brandon. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.